Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm T.R. Hotchkiss, and I have AIDS, and I'm going to talk to you about it. I am from Ames, Iowa, country boy, if you call Ames a country town. Went to Iowa State University, went to the Ames High School here, and I lived in Minneapolis for 6 years as well as Dallas for 6 years. I contracted AIDS and I came back home. And for the past year, I've been talking about AIDS to people, high school students, service groups, churches, and I decided I'm going to put it on video so that I remember what I'm doing. One of the things that I talk about is the medicines that I take. This is AZT. This is the actual medicine that I take 6 times a day that is supposed to save my life. Usually I ask my audience, guess how much this bottle costs. I take this much AZT once a month, and the bottle itself, full, costs $300. So we're getting into, and will continue to get into, big bucks here. One of the ailments that I got while I was here in Ames and went to Mary Greeley Hospital was spinal meningitis, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. A number of things happened to me at that time. I had intravenous feedings, and it got to the point to where it was very strong medicine. I had to take 6 hours worth of this stuff, and it was so strong that it would cramp my blood vessels, and I was no longer able to take the intravenous fluid after 3 hours. Well, they just yanked it out and put it into another one, into the other vein. Well, I said, this is going to stop. They were starting to look at my legs, so they came up with a device that has helped me. And again, this is because I have AIDS. I have a catheter that is permanently installed in my chest. It is in my chest here. It doesn't hurt anymore. It hurt when they first put it in. But it goes over my shoulder and into a major vein in my heart. And I have my choice of white or red as to what I want to use, and I infuse daily. I have medicine that I take on a daily basis that I use this for. But I had spinal meningitis, and one of the things about AIDS is that you can get these diseases that everybody else can get, but because my immune system is down, because I don't have as many white blood cells, I get the disease easier than other people. Spinal meningitis is a disease that anybody can get, but a lot of people don't get. It just isn't common to see. So I have medicine for it. I will never get over spinal meningitis. I only have medicine that I take on a daily basis. This is diflucan, that keeps me from getting a bad case of it again. I always will have spinal meningitis in my body. I was first diagnosed with double pneumonia, and I will always have double pneumonia in my body. I take medicine daily to keep me from getting major symptoms from it. If you care to guess before I tell you how much this bottle is, I'll give you a few seconds. This is $500. So we've got $300 here, $500 here a month. And this is what I infuse with on a daily basis. This is for my eyes. This is called Phoscarnet. I take it daily for an hour every day. I have a machine at home that you program it, it drips it in, and it goes through the catheters that I showed you earlier. Care to make a guess on this, how much that costs? I'll tell you that it's $250 a day. This is only part of the medicine I take because I have AIDS. Somebody figured it up for me one time, and they figured that I spent around $9,000 a month on just these 3 items. It adds up very quickly. And that there's like another 10 set of bottles and stuff that I take medicine for. I'm going to the doctor every other week. Medicine, AIDS is a very expensive disease to have. A lot of times people just talk about, oh, it's a death disease. Well, it's also very expensive. It can bankrupt you. I am lucky enough, I guess you would say, to say that I have gotten on Medicaid. But in able to be on Medicaid, I have had to have no investments. I have no property. I have no IRA. I have no future. I can't have anything. I can't own anything but a car. I have to be totally destitute. I live with my parents who provide me room and board. And as a result, Medicaid will pay for this medicine. Enough about me and the kind of medicines that I get. I'd like to talk about how you can get AIDS. I got AIDS through sexual intercourse. That's how most people get AIDS. There are 3 ways of getting it. The one way to get it is through transfusion, shared body fluids, a blood transfusion at a hospital. That used to be the case. You could get AIDS through the blood transfusion at the hospital. That no longer is the case. Now that we know about AIDS, the blood is being more thoroughly checked, not only chemically, but when you give blood, you're subjected to an interview. And this interview finds out whether you are a person at risk. And if it looks like you're a person at risk, that blood will be taken someplace else, used for experiments or whatever, but not given as a transfusion. There were a lot of hemophiliacs that got AIDS because of the product that they take. They would have to take a transfusion when they got a cut, extra blood, and that blood might have been tainted with AIDS. That no longer is the case. It's not something we need to worry about now. The second way of getting AIDS is through shared needles. And again, this gets back into body fluids. If you are a drug user and you are using a needle to put drugs into yourself, and then you share that needle with someone else, you might have some of your blood still in that needle. You need to clean that needle. And this is a diagram that you can see. You need to clean it once in bleach. Clorox bleach is a good brand, Clorox. And then you rinse it out thoroughly in cold water, and do it again with the Clorox, and then rinse it out thoroughly in the water again. That makes a big difference. And in that way, you can you can continue your drug habit. Now, what a terrible thing to say, but I guess I'd rather see you getting high than getting dead. That's something that once you get AIDS, you will die from it. There just isn't any escaping from it. It used to be back in the 70s when I was in my youth and vim and vigor that the only thing I had to worry about was getting someone pregnant and syphilis, gonorrhea, and chlamydia. Well, that's not the case anymore. You have to worry about death now. You can't have sex without worrying about getting AIDS. And once you get AIDS, you will die from AIDS. That's just a fact. And that brings us to the last way, and the most popular way of getting AIDS is through sexual intercourse. That's how I got it, that's how a lot of people get it, and that's how people of all ages get it. And that's how people of all sexes get it. It isn't a homosexual disease as it started out in the United States. 75% of all AIDS encounters have been heterosexual worldwide. It started out in the United States as a gay disease, but now it certainly is becoming worse than that. In fact, the potential, the people that are getting AIDS the most now are women of childbearing age. Men are still up on the top, but women are catching up faster. So you ladies out there, don't be thinking that you're not going to get it. And you guys that you can't put your legs together without a vice grip, you're going to get it too, straight as you may be. AIDS is equal opportunity. It goes for everyone. And you will get it through sex. The only way to save yourself from this, the only safe sex, is no sex. It's as simple as that. If you don't have sex with someone, then you're not going to get AIDS. And I can't say it any simpler. If you have got to have sex with someone, and if you're in a married situation and you've been with your spouse for years and you know that he's being faithful or she's being faithful and you are monogamous to each other, then you aren't in a risk factor. But if you're just getting out of high school, you just have you've just met someone that you really feel a lot care about, and you feel that it's appropriate to have sex, you're dealing with the danger. You may be in trouble. That comes to what I want to suggest as a safer sex. You have an alternative, and that is a use of a condom. Now we get to the highlight of the program. This is where I get to show you how to use a condom in the proper use. Now, I have never done this before, but we're going to take a banana and put a condom on it. And I use the help of the people here. This is how they come nowadays. Any choice out there as to which color we want to use?
Green.
Green. Oh, you would pick the one in the middle. Okay. We'll use the green one on our big Dole banana. It's important when you use a condom that you use it correctly. and that it has a spermicide on it. These condoms that I have, I got from the AIDS Coalition, and they do have a spermicide. Tear open the package. This one has a receptacle end on it. Get the right end of the banana, and just, ooh, this goes easier than I thought. I've never done this in this position before. And make sure it's all the way down. Don't just put it a little bit up here because that's all you're going to use. Put it all the way down until it goes down to the base of the penis. And use spermicide. If it doesn't come with spermicide, you can buy some foam jelly. And I say Oxy 500, and that's not correct. That's a pimple cream. You should use Minoxidil 9. But try and buy a condom that has a spermicide with it. That's your best bet. And when you're done, make sure that you hold on to the end here as you pull out. If you don't, this condom, while it's not going to slip off the banana, it could slip off of you. And then you've got a condom loose in the girl and not being protective. So that's how you use a condom. The Red Cross makes me do that. They assume that you don't know how to use it, and that's what you do. Let's see. What's next here that I wanted to talk about? Ways that you can't get AIDS. AIDS is a very weak disease. It isn't something that I could have on my hands and it will go into the air and reach you and kill you. It isn't something that you would get from breathing the same air that I breathe. You won't get it by shaking my hand. You won't get it by taking a bath with me, by using the same drinking cup with me. AIDS, must be in a fluid solution at 98.6. It needs to be in blood. There was a talk about shared body fluids. There was a nurse up in Upper Iowa working in the garden, getting cuts on her hands. And the next day she went into an emergency situation and didn't put gloves on her hands as she was supposed to. That's just universal precautions that hospitals do now. Didn't put the gloves on her hands, got this fellow's blood in her system because of the cuts, and unfortunately the fellow had AIDS. And she got AIDS because of shared body fluids. If I cut myself and I bled on this table, and you came over 2 minutes later and you rubbed your finger on it, you're not going to get it. AIDS will die when it's exposed to the air. AIDS will die when it's exposed to certain temperatures. It has to be transferred through blood, through exchanged body fluids, through sex. So don't be thinking that you can't be in the same room with someone, that you can't shake somebody's hand. It's so important when you're dealing with someone that has AIDS to be kind to them, to give them support. There are lots of catchphrases, and I'll get more into this into the next session, that go along with AIDS. I consider myself an AIDS victim, and my AIDS counselor says, oh, no, nobody's a victim. That's a terrible thing to say. But I am an AIDS victim. My life is controlled daily by AIDS. I have 4 good working hours a day. Every month I have what I call an attack. I get these migraines that it's all I can do to get from bed to the couch. And the following night I'm busy throwing up in the toilet. I have cancer on my butt. I have cancer in my throat. I have a cosmetic disease that's in my head and my hair that gives me zits that I didn't used to have. There are all sorts of things that are happening to me that I'm not living with AIDS. That sounds like I just took a lover in and I'm living with him. It sounds so positive. That's not the case. I'm dying from AIDS. That is what the fact is. I am a victim of what AIDS does to me, and I want to make sure that you don't get AIDS. You will get it sexually. That's how it's happening. That's the #1 way to get it. And to reinforce what I said, if you don't want to get AIDS, and my God, I hope that you don't, because it's not a disease that's pleasant. It's a very slow death. The only way you can get it is to have sex with someone. And when you're having sex with that one person, it isn't like you're having sex with that one person. You're having sex with everybody he's ever had sex with. So if person number 57 had AIDS, you probably will get AIDS. It isn't just between you two anymore, like it used to be. Again, it used to be so nice when all you had to worry about was pregnancy and a couple of venereal diseases. Now you have to worry about death. Now you are responsible for what's going to happen to you. you can get AIDS. There's two forms of AIDS. There's HIV positive, and there is full-blown AIDS. But make no mistake, once you get full-blown AIDS, or once you get HIV positive, you've got full-blown AIDS. You will die from AIDS. At this point, in May of 1992, there is no cure for the disease. HIV positive, that means that you have got the virus. The virus is inside of you. It's multiplying. Once you have contact with someone, have a sexual intercourse, within 6 weeks that virus starts to multiply. It starts to make more of itself. But you aren't showing any symptoms of the disease. You aren't getting the headaches. You're not getting the nausea. You're not throwing up. You're not getting the dementia, forgetting things, being tired. You are just as normal as anybody else. So you could not tell that you had AIDS. But you're a loaded gun. You can give that AIDS to anybody else sexually very easily. This lasts for maybe 10 to 15 years. It's an incubation period. And then, bam, you've got the full-blown AIDS. You've got the headaches. You've got the pneumonia. You have the spinal meningitis. You get these diseases that normally you wouldn't get. Again, there's nothing to do once you get it. The only thing that you can do that is helpful is to be diagnosed. It's like cancer. The sooner you find out you've got cancer, the sooner you can get it treated, the longer you may have to live. And who knows, in 1993 there may be a cure. Go and get yourself tested. Now, there are two kinds of ways of getting tested. There is going to your local doctor and getting a confidential test, and anything that you do with your local doctor is considered confidential. Or you can get an anonymous test, and that is the test that I encourage you to get. Here in Ames, you can get tested at the clinic on campus. Any age. You don't have to be part of the college. Any age person can go in there and say, I need an HIV and AIDS test. You give them a number, they take your blood sample, 2 weeks later you come in, give them that same number, and they'll give you the results. They'll give you a little bit of counseling with it, and that's it. If you go into your doctor's office and say, I need an AIDS test, he'll do that for you, that'll be fine, but he'll make a record of that and put it into your file. And someday when you're out there looking for a job, or you've got a job and you're getting company insurance, there's not much that stops State Farm Insurance or Mutual Benefit or whatever they're called from looking into your files, your medical files. And lo and behold, oh, well, this guy went in for a test for AIDS. Well, he didn't test positive, but if he thought he had it, he's probably a risky kind of person. I don't know that we really ought to insure him. I guess if we're going to take a risk with him, let's just up that premium another $50. So don't take a confidential test. Don't take the test in a clinic where you know people that you're a friend of, because people are people. They're going to talk. They're going to, well, what did you go in for, and all this kind of stuff. And sometimes that information comes out. It isn't that you need to be afraid or ashamed of having AIDS, but there is still a climate in this community that you can suffer from it indirectly if somebody unscrupulous finds out. If a list is made, it reminds me of the Dachau, the people in Germany that were kept in prison camps. We kept Japanese up in prison camps in World War II in our own country just because they were Japanese. The same situation can happen here with AIDS. If you get on a list, if you get that stigma, until things change drastically, get an anonymous test. You're the only one that has to know. I want you to leave this video with a number of things. I want you to be concerned about this AIDS epidemic, and it is an epidemic. Over 4,000 cases are reported each month, which, when you think of those numbers, it's hard to think of. I mean, what does that mean, 4,000 people? How, you know, that's hard for me to grasp. It's a lot of people, and when you multiply that times 12, that's 48,000 people in a year that have gotten AIDS that will die. It isn't like I got AIDS and maybe I'll get cured. There are 48,000 people a year that will die from AIDS. So I want you to be afraid of the disease. It's a crippling disease. Most of the time when you see somebody that's got AIDS over on the Oprah Winfrey Show or Sally Jesse Raphael, they're withered, they've got the bones, and they don't feel good, they look bad. It's a scary disease. You simply wither and die. It's not a helpful disease. It isn't something like something that'll take you like that. You lay in bed and suffer for a long time. So be afraid of it. This isn't something that you want to have. This is something you need to avoid. And to avoid it, don't have sex. I can't say it any simpler. There's no other way to say it. Don't have sex. If you've got to. If you're married and you think your husband's cheating on you, because I don't think there's a whore in Des Moines that wouldn't mind taking $50 and giving you HIV on the side, then maybe you'd better put a condom on your good fellow, just to make sure, just to protect yourself. It's 85% protective. I don't say that that's the wonderful way to go, but okay. I'd rather you were 85% protected than not at all. I guess that's it. The other tape that we're going to do is going to deal with how you can treat people with AIDS, how you deal with them in society, in the community. And I'd like you to stay tuned for that. That's when I get real cranky and mad about what's going on. But AIDS is an epidemic. It affects everybody. It will affect you. By the year 2000, you will be dealing with AIDS on a personal level. It may not be that you'll get AIDS. I hope to God that you don't. But you may. You may also be dealing with AIDS through a cousin or a brother, a sister, a good friend at work, the grocery clerk, the guy that sacks your groceries. All of those people can get AIDS, and it will affect you personally. And what we'll talk about in the next tape is what are you going to do about it? What are you going to say to them? How are you going to support them? What does it mean to know somebody that has AIDS? We're done with the Banana Act. Thanks for being here, and I hope you stay for the next tape. Hi. Glad you came back. It didn't scare you off for the first one. Before I go any further, I want to mention two telephone numbers that I forgot to mention the last time. If you're in Ames and you need any information or any help about AIDS, call 232-6590. And if they're not there at that time, somebody will get back to you and give you a call. It is confidential, so don't worry about it. If you are not in Ames and you would like an international number, that number is 1-800-342-AIDS, AIDS. Simple, easy to remember. So give those numbers a call if you want more information than I'm giving you now, and I hope that you will. There's much more to this AIDS situation than what I'm giving you is my personal experience, and there are people that are having all sorts of different experiences regarding AIDS. And there are so many other people involved when you talk about AIDS. There's not only myself who has the disease, but there's my parents that are just as well are affected by AIDS. The AIDS coalition and people that are involved with AIDS come up with all these catchy trick phrases, living with AIDS and you're not a victim of AIDS and all this kind of stuff. And I guess I'm kind of unorthodox, and I guess that would make me a pain in the ass, but I don't believe in living with AIDS. I don't think that's a good description. I don't think that anybody that has AIDS would say that I'm living with it. AIDS is a crisis. It is a complete change of lifestyle. I cannot work. I don't have the mental capacity. I used to type 90 words a minute. I'm lucky if I can do 20 now. I can't hold down an 8-hour job because I become tired after 2 to 3 hours of work. I can get sick very easily. I'm constantly nauseous in the stomach. So I'm not employable, and that is because of AIDS, and I just don't call it living with AIDS. It sounds like I've made bed partners with AIDS, and that's not right. I'm dying from AIDS. I'm a victim of AIDS. AIDS is something to be feared. AIDS is something to be avoided. And living with AIDS just puts a chocolate coating on it that I think is inappropriate. Now, you may not see this. This may get edited out, but that's my feelings, the renegade that I may be. 75% of all AIDS incidences, encounters, are heterosexual. That means that men and women are getting the disease. And 75% worldwide is heterosexual. Now, I know that we've been thinking in the United States that it's a gay disease, but it is not. It's taking women, and it's taking women faster than it's taking men. The women of childbearing age. The men are still up on the top of the numbers, but the women are making a quick comeback. So if you're out there, a female, thinking, well, I don't have to worry because I'm a girl and girls don't get AIDS, you're wrong. Women get AIDS. Their children get AIDS. A baby can get AIDS from breast milk. That's how dangerous it can be. A mother can give the virus of AIDS to her child in birth. So, it's not just gay men that get it. It's women, and it is straight men. It's fathers. It's husbands that get the disease as well. I don't think there's not a whore out in Des Moines that won't take the $50 and give you an AIDS as a special on the side. If you are not sure that your spouse or your partner is being faithful to you, or in the past has had a wild lifestyle, do yourself a favor and get yourself checked. That's one of the things that I'd like you to remember out of this chapter, this video. Go and get an anonymous check over at the clinic at the Ames Iowa State University. That's the free one that I know of, and they'll let any age in. You give them a number, they do the test, you come back 2 weeks number, you give them the same number again, and they'll give you the results. They'll talk a little bit of counseling with you, to explain what AIDS is and its consequences, and that's it. Nobody knows about it, it's all anonymous, and you will know for sure. Because if you've got AIDS, if you are HIV positive, which means you're a loaded gun, you don't want to be going out in the streets infecting other people. At least I hope you don't. If you're a responsible citizen, you don't. So go in and get that check. For 4,000 people each month are getting AIDS. I want to convince you that this is an epidemic. It's like the plague has hit us. People don't talk about it because it deals with sex and it deals with drugs and all this kind of stuff and has all these naughty things attached to it. But the fact is, people are dying from this disease, and we need to realize it and to deal with it as a community, as a public. By the year 2000, you will be personally affected with AIDS. I hope to God that you don't get it like I have it. I will die from AIDS. I'm dying from AIDS. I'm on a slow death path to AIDS. I'm tired. My legs hurt. I've got cancer on the butt. The list is endless of things that are happening to me because I have AIDS. Don't get it at all costs. And the way that you control that is by not having sex. I mean, we went through this in the first video, but I can't say it often enough. Abstinence. It's a hard word to say, and it isn't like the drug thing where it's just say no. You need to have a reason to say no, and the reason is you can die from it. Just don't do it. Wait until you get married, and when you get married, make sure that your spouse is clean, that both of you are clean. Get tested beforehand. Because when you get AIDS, you will have it for the rest, and you're expecting the rest of your life, you'll have it for the rest of your death. You will die from AIDS. You won't live from AIDS. You will die from AIDS. Am I scaring you? Am I making a difference? This is a terrible thing to happen to you. And one of the things I want to talk about is how do you, as a layperson, how do you deal with someone that has the disease? How do you talk to them? What do you say? discrimination, those kinds of things. People ask me, I give these lectures to high school students all the time and community service things. They say, they want the juicy stuff. How have you been discriminated against? I mean, who spit on you in the street today? And that doesn't happen. I think we've gone beyond that. Years ago, I remember that there was a group of hemophiliacs, children, that were going to school, and the community burned their home down. But that was years ago. That doesn't happen anymore. We have a little bit more common sense about AIDS. I compare AIDS as being like cancer used to be. I remember being afraid of going into a room with someone that had cancer, talking to them, touching them, because I didn't know how you got cancer. I didn't want to get it from them. I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I didn't know how to talk to someone that had a terminal disease. I mean, you know, I would say the wrong thing, you know, so I just avoided it. And that's what's happening with AIDS. People don't know what to say. People don't know how to talk. I have 3 examples that I'm going to share with you of discrimination that's happened to me. One is a deliberate example of discrimination, and the other 2 are samples of discrimination that have been done out of love, but are discrimination nonetheless. The first one deals with my aunt and uncle and my parents. My aunt and uncle and parents used to go out, once a month, go out to get something to eat and that kind of stuff. They had a good time. My dad grew up with my uncle, and they were very good friends and all this kind of stuff. Different religions, you know, we're Presbyterian, they're Methodist, but somehow my aunt and uncle have got involved in this religious cassette tape kind of stuff, PTL, and all this religious furor that says that I am worship the devil, that I should go to hell, that I deserve what I got, that any amount of suffering is totally deserved because I have AIDS. And so they don't communicate with us anymore. They don't talk to us. They don't talk to my mom and dad. And bottom line, big deal. They weren't my favorite aunt and uncle, so it's no big loss to me. But it is a big loss to my parents. My parents, their only sin is providing me with room and board and love because their eldest son is dying before their eyes. And yet my aunt and uncle won't talk to them because of that. That's a form of discrimination. You're not hurting me. Doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. My cousins are fine. They can handle the situation. But for some reason the aunt and uncle can't. And they're making my parents' life miserable. They're not making my life miserable. They're hurting my parents. Second example, and this involves a funeral. I was singing at a choir, the men's choir in Des Moines last Christmas, and was cleaning up. I was playing the piano for them too. Cleaning up, and I get this tug on the arm, and somebody saying, what do you take? What is the medicine? What makes you so healthy? You look so good. You've had AIDS for a year, and I've had it for like 6 months, and I'm on death's door. And I turned around and I looked, and this character had the thin hands, the blood at the fingertips. He was stooped over, he had a cane, had the cancer on the face. I mean, he was a typical AIDS victim that you expect to see. He was really suffering. He was on death's door. And all I could tell him was that I'm active, I'm doing things, I have exciting things to get up for, to do. I do these lectures, I do these choirs, I do these shows. And it's important to me and it keeps me alive. It's the mind over matter that makes a difference. And I went and visited him a couple of times. Didn't know him really well, just an acquaintance. But he died about 2 months later. And I didn't know any of his friends, but I knew a couple of people that knew him that went to his funeral and knew that he died and knew the schedule of the funeral. But for some reason, because of their compassion for me, they felt that, we'd better not tell TR about this funeral because it's going to break his heart. It'll make him go crazy. It's not something that he shouldn't see this. They were protecting me and saving me from this awful ordeal of going to an AIDS funeral. Well, I appreciate the love that shows me and the care and concern. But on the other hand, I wanted to go to that funeral, and they denied me that right. It really was my decision to decide whether or not I wanted to go to this funeral of this person that had AIDS. And by not telling me until a week and a half after it was over, I feel incomplete. There were things that I had talked to him about and that I wanted to be at the funeral with him. And because of good intentions, I was discriminated against. I was treated as an invalid, a secondary citizen because I had AIDS. a form of discrimination. I'll give you another one. This, again, deals with the funeral. I had a lady that was in the hospital she was in the hospital for a month before she died. Older lady, 57 years old. And I was called in because I'm very vocal about having AIDS, and I'm on TV, I have the newspaper articles and that kind of stuff. And she decided 2 weeks before she died that she wanted to talk to somebody that had AIDS, just to talk about the feelings that she was having and all this kind of stuff. So I went in and talked to her for about a week. And one of the things that she shared with me is the only good that she could get out of being flat on her back. And again, she was a skeleton. She just was skin and bone. She was on death's door. The only good that she could get out of the pain she was suffering because of AIDS was to be able to say, I'm going to put in the newspaper and the obituaries that I died of AIDS. It's going to be in my funeral that I died of AIDS, so that everybody in this community knows that it's not just gay men that get it. It can be your mother. It can be your aunt. It can be any female. Everybody can get AIDS. And that gave her a sense of comfort. That gave her a sense of value, of a reason for having this terrible disease. The only reason she could think of for having this terrible disease. Well, it wasn't in the obits. It wasn't at the funeral. I was there, I sang. The closest we came to AIDS was insidious infection. And again, here's a woman, a dying wish, a dying concept, something that gave a value to the last few days of her life, was denied her because members of her family were uncomfortable, ashamed, I don't know. It could be any reason that they decided not to do it. And they had decided just at the last minute, just before the obits went in, somebody yanked the AIDS business out of it. There were plans to don't send flowers, send monies to the AIDS Coalition to be put in the program at the funeral home. That wasn't there. A form of discrimination, out of love, out of concern, out of what our society is today. That woman died at 57 of a heart attack, I guess, is what they said. But she took consolation in knowing that her death might help someone else with AIDS. And in reality, although she never knew about it, she was denied that. A form of discrimination. We need, in this chapter, in this videotape, to think about what are you going to do about AIDS? Because as I said earlier, by the year 2000, you will be confronted with AIDS. It may be a teacher. It could be anyone you know. And there are so many people walking around today that have AIDS, that may be HIV positive, that don't show the signs that I show, that have the cancer, that have the tiredness, that need a cane, that are withered with their hands and skin or bones. How are you going to deal with those people when they come up to you and say, I have AIDS? One of the reasons that I have lasted so long, and I was diagnosed full-blown AIDS over a year ago, and I'll give you information. They go for T-cell counts, and you're supposed to have 750 to 1,000 if you're normal. I've got 20, and that's how much they found out a year ago May. So I'm a pretty sick puppy here, but I don't look it. I think if I walk down the street, you wouldn't notice me as being someone with AIDS. What you can do is give someone a reason to live, a reason to get up. Going to lunch, let's go to a movie. I baked some cookies, let me bring them over and let's have a tea party. The AIDS victims begin to get so tired that they can't go shopping. They can't buy their own groceries if they're living by themselves. They can't do their own laundry. What does it take to make a call and say, listen, I'm doing the laundry at the laundromat. Come on down and we'll do it together. We'll have a party. We'll make a party out of it. What does that take? That little bit of kindness can mean so much, that gets that person out of bed and out from watching the soaps, and won't that kill you right away? Get you out of bed, get you doing something worthwhile to be a contributing part of the community. I have talked to hundreds of high school students, thousands. Nevada, I guess I haven't talked to Nevada. I will be talking to Nevada. Story City, all sorts of places. And I maybe reached 10 people out of the group of 100 that I talked to, and I feel good about that because I've made a difference. I've changed an attitude. I have done a precaution for people. The kids think twice before they go out and have sex. I have value in my life that I have right now. And it is up to you as a community, as a group of people, to give that sense of value to an AIDS person. Because what they're thinking of is, oh God, I'm terminally ill. I'm going to die in a month. What good can I do? I might just as well lay home in bed and die. And that's what they do if they don't have a support system. That's what happened to the guy at the funeral I didn't get to go to. His parents, and this was at Christmas time, his parents wouldn't have anything to do with him. His lover of 22 months left him. He had to give up his dog, his pet, because he had to move into a smaller apartment. And he was working with the Veterans Administration for the hospital, so he wasn't getting the wonderful care that I get from Mary Greeley. The kid was destitute. He had no reason to live, and he died. I, on the other hand, have a family that supports me. My parents give me room and board and love. My brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews have no problem coming to visit with me. I function as a producer and a director of a variety show every summer. That last year we raised $9,000. This year we hope to raise even more. I work with the news media. I do all these kinds of things. And that's always been my nature, to be a doer. But sometimes it takes someone else to help someone, to pull them out of that drudgery, to pull them out of the grief that they're in, to turn that around. Now maybe that comes from your God, from Jesus. Fine, if that's where you're going to get it. Maybe it comes from a project that you're going to do. Whatever it takes, wherever you are within your life, think about what you're going to do with that AIDS victim that suddenly happens to you. And if you can't deal with an AIDS victim face to face, at least think about their support system. Don't persecute their mother and father. Don't make the brother and sister's life hell in high school because the older brother has AIDS. Why are you pulling salt on people's wounds? You should be helping. You should be making a difference. That's what I think. That's what I'm telling you to do. I want you to leave this tape with go get yourself checked. That's number one. Number two, don't have sex. Or if you're going to have sex with someone that you've had sex with forever and ever, and you know that they're clean, and you're not going to get AIDS, and you know that they're faithful to you in the whole bit. Do that. But, and thirdly, start thinking about AIDS. It is an epidemic. It is facing us. And we are dying from it. I mean, and I think we're going to hear this phrase, oh, I'm living with AIDS for quite a while now, and I'll probably get used to it. It's this kind of euphoric optimism that they want to convey in the AIDS Coalition, and that's fine. There's a benefit and a use to that. But in reality, when you have AIDS, when you know someone that has AIDS, there's death involved, and it's a slow death. And if you at any time can reach your hand in there and pull them out of this psychological mire that terminal death does to you, it means so much. If you can help them contribute to society in their community, it means so much. Otherwise, they just lay in bed and die and are not productive at all. I guess that's it. Have I scared you enough? Have I given you enough information to want to call these numbers, and let me give them to you again? 232-6590. Ask for Liz. She's at the AIDS Coalition, and she's usually there during the day. And there's a machine on, and she'll return your call, and it's completely confidential. I mean, she makes me leave the room when the phone rings. And for those of you that are away from Ames, call 1-800-342-AIDS. So the only number you need to remember is 342-AIDS. You'll get information. You will be referred to people that can help you. And the AIDS Coalition, well, it does supportive things. I belong to an organization of other people that have AIDS, that we talk about our situation and give support to each other. My parents are members of a parental people that have AIDS. Let me tell you this. 2 years ago, there were only 2 cases of AIDS in Story County. Today, there's over 50. Now, what is that, 25%, 25 times what it was 2 years ago? It's becoming an epidemic. There are more and more people that have AIDS. And it's not just centered in Ames. I know there are people in Nevada, there's people in Story City, there's people in Boone, there's people in Ames, Fort Worth, Marshalltown, that have got AIDS, that are working through the AIDS Story County system. So give these numbers a call. If you can help, call Liz and let her know that there's some time that you'd like to spend. We'd love to get your money, but we'd even love to, much more is to get your body, is to get your commitment as a person. to change some of the myths and the attitude that you can get AIDS by a virus floating around in the air. That's not going to happen. You see movie shows that they don't allow kids to go to school, regular public school, because you've got AIDS. And you can't get AIDS by being in the same class with somebody. You only get AIDS by having sex with them. And I'm going to say it again, don't have sex. You can't get AIDS if you don't have sex. It's as simple as that. I guess that's enough. We'll wrap it up there. I've touched on all the important things. If you want more information, give those numbers a call. And I'm glad that you've watched. This is an important thing for Ames. Go. Thanks for being here.